On 26 May, the Indian Air Force launched Operation Sagar, which saw the deployment of air power at 18,000 feet. As the intruders, backed by the Pakistani army, entrenched themselves on the treacherous heights of the Kargil sector, the Indian Air Force deployed its entire fleet and the pounding continued for the next 60 days. On 21st May, the Indian Air Force launched a Canberra PR-57 to conduct a reconnaissance of the Kargil area to assess the extent of intrusion. The aircraft descended to 22,000 feet, just 2 miles from the LOC. The aircraft was just 4,000 feet above the highest Himalayan points. The Canberra sustained a direct hit in its right engine by what was later determined to have been a Chinese-made ANZA infrared surface-to-air missile. This called for different tactics if the Indian Air Force wanted air power to play a decisive role in the war. The Indian government had given the green light for the use of air power, albeit with one caveat: the Indian fighter jets were not allowed to cross the border with Pakistan. Hello and welcome to News Affairs. Before we proceed further, we request our viewers to please subscribe this channel if you have not yet subscribed. If you find the video informative, please like and share the video. India began the air bombing on 26 May with MiG-21, MiG-23 and MiG-27 fighters carrying out 6 attacks against intruder camps, material dumps and supply routes. The success was short-lived, as on the second day the force lost 2 fighter jets, a MiG-27 and a MiG-21. The Pakistan-backed insurgents were using Stinger, a man-portable air defense system that operates as an infrared homing surface-to-air missile. India had pressed its fleet of MiG-21s, MiG-23s, MiG-25s, MiG-27s, MiG-29 Falcons, Jaguars and Mirage 2000s into the attack of the enemy positions with a small target area of just 5 to 12 kilometers from the line of control. These fighters flew at 30,000 feet to avoid Pakistan missiles. The Pakistan and Indian Air Force did not have dogfights, but the Indian MiG-29s, called Baz or Eagle, did have whoever blinks first games with Pakistan's F-16 Falcons. While Pakistan Air Force fighters did fly combat air patrols during the conflict, they stayed well within Pakistani airspace. On occasions, Indian Air Force MiG-29s armed with the deadly R-77 BVR air-to-air missiles were able to lock on the Pakistan Air Force F-16s, forcing the latter to disengage. In the absence of a Pakistan Air Force threat, the Indian Air Force was able to deliver numerous devastating strikes on intruder positions and supply dumps. The Pakistan Air Force Director of Operations during the Kargil War later reported isolated instances of Indian Air Force and Pakistan Air Force fighters locking on to each other with their onboard fire control radars. The Indian Air Force pilots carried out 6,500 sorties including strikes, reconnaissance, evacuation, transportation and logistic support. In a report by the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace in 2012, Benjamin Lambeth explained how the Indian Air Force pummeled the Pakistani Army and the Pakistan Air Force. On June 24th, the Indian Air Force's 2 Mirage 2000Hs dropped the first ever laser-guided bombs of the force in a combat mission and destroyed the Northern Light Infantry's command and control bunkers. The Indian Air Force reported at the end of 1999 that it resulted in as many as 300 enemy casualties within just minutes. Air power needs to be applied innovatively with ingenuity. The challenges during the Kargil conflict were manifold, including the high altitude terrain ranging from 10,000 to 18,000 feet, low air density, strong winds, small camouflaged targets, and self-imposed restrictions like not crossing the border. The Indian Air Force's MiG-21s operated without modern navigation equipment and pilots managed with handheld GPS gadgets. The force's engineers integrated 1,000 kg bombs from the World War II era with laser-guided weapon pods. The Indian Air Force reportedly selected weapon impact points that would snowball into landslides or avalanches. The IAF also deployed its super spy MiG-25 Foxbat for reconnaissance missions. With an operational flight of over 70,000 feet and a speed of Mach 2.5, the fighter jet had regularly flown reconnaissance missions across Pakistan to map the country. The information gathered was used to maintain an order of battle against Pakistan. Such was the clarity of the camera fitted in the belly of the aircraft. that it could pick photos of humans on a Pakistani tarmac. The Foxbat had given a sonic boom to Pakistan and escaped even before PAF scrambled its interceptors. In 1999, however, its mission parameters were different. It was to fly low and slow to map the targets on the Pakistani side for the Mirage 2000's bombing. The aircraft flew at a lower height, which was never envisaged, and there were no laid down standard operating procedures. Also, it needed to maintain a velocity and height ratio for the camera to be able to click clear photographs. At the given height, the aircraft was well beyond the range of the surface-to-air missiles, but the only threat was from aerial interception. To overcome that, the aircraft was escorted by Mirage 2000s during the mission. The aircraft did the finest photography of the line of control between India and Pakistan. This helped in better planning of mission Safed Sagar. Jai Hind.